Hello and welcome to our Let's Get Bendy workshop. I am so excited that you are joining me today and that you have taken the opportunity to work on your own body and your muscles and say bye to stiffness. So before I begin, if you could just let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from, just let me know. I know we've had people from all over the world signing up to this, which is just so exciting. So let me know. And I'm just going to go over a few things before we begin, okay? Just double check that. Yeah, cool. So in this training, you are about to discover how gaining flexibility not only reduces stiffness and helps you move better, but also how it helps you to have a more positive mindset so that you can stay healthier. How many times have we tried workouts and diets and all these things, and it's a real struggle to stay consistent? So when you can work on your mindset as well, that helps you to stay consistent and it helps you to stay healthier. So I've got a little testimonial here. I've just redone my fledgling yogi course, which is all about maximizing your flexibility. And Becca has just gone through it, and she said Leah's back bend stretches, and in particular fascia work, really ease some pains. Some of the moves I'm actually just doing when I get a moment in the day to ease my back, and my back is definitely feeling less tension. And I just had to share that because sometimes we do these exercises and we kind of just think that we're doing them for, I don't know, fitness or just gaining flexibility, but actually they really do help loosen the entire body and reduce that stiffness. And Becca is absolutely proof of that. So you are in the right place. If you've signed up to this, and maybe you are getting aches and pains in your body, you're struggling to exercise or stay consistent. Maybe you just feel really tight and inflexible. I know I was definitely one of those. Or maybe you just want to feel younger and more mobile, or maybe even more positive. Then you are definitely in the right place. So stick around because this training is for you. So here's what we are going to learn today by hanging out, okay? We are going to learn why flexibility and not just doing yoga is so important to your health. We're going to learn the different ways of gaining flexibility that isn't just stretching. We're going to learn how to fit in quick practices even when you're busy. I know we're all very busy, especially now it's summer holidays. We've got the kids running around. We've still got to find time to work and do everything else that we've got to do. So I know your time is precious. And that's why I am going to get straight to the point in this workshop. And I'm going to show you practices that are going to help you even when you are busy. And we're going to learn how working on our flexibility will not only improve the body, but the mindset as well. Okay, so here's what our students end up with who take action. Just look at these results, right? They are amazing. Some of these were done after just a few minutes. Some of them were done after just 5 days. Okay, but look at that difference between all of them. Nowhere near the toes or just near the toes, and then hands like nearly flat on the floor. Some of them hands flat on the floor. Like, how incredible is that? And that is exactly what happens when you focus on your flexibility and take away what I am going to teach you today, okay? Because I don't want you ending up like me. I struggled for years. But make sure that you stay until the end of this training because I've got a special gift for anybody who stays till the end, okay? I'm going to show you the 3 essential moves that you can do daily to maximize your flexibility that only take 3 minutes of your time, okay? I'm going to share these right at the end, so make sure you stick around. And also, if you stick around, there's a very special offer just for you where you can be in with a chance to get a 4-week personalized training plan, okay? So make sure that you stay until the end to see how to get that. So we're just going to do a little talk like this to start with, just because I want you to understand the importance of flexibility and why we're doing this instead of just jumping straight into the practice with no knowledge and then being confused and wondering, what's next, okay? So we're going to do a little bit of a talk like this and then we're going to get straight into the practice. So just a quick recap of my story in case you're wondering, who are you? Why should I trust you? I am Leah. I am a mum, a wife, an animal lover. You might even hear Millie barking in the background in a minute because she's actually on heat right now, and all the male dogs around in the area are going absolutely crazy, and it's starting her off. This is our first time going through this, so it's very interesting. But anyway, so when I was in my 20s, I was very inflexible and unfit and unhealthy. And I think because I've always been naturally slimmer, I assumed that I was fit. And then it wasn't until my 20s when I think I went to, oh, that was back in the day, wasn't it? When all the workout DVDs were like mega popular. So I started trying to do them, and I was nearly passing out. Like, I was feeling mega sick because I was so unfit. I couldn't get through 5 minutes of cardio without literally sweating and feeling like I was going to pass out. So that's when I decided I really need to start working on my health, because I mean, if that's happening in my 20s, what's going to happen then when you hit your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s? Is going to decline, right? You have to keep it up the age that you are now to keep it going. So I started these workouts, mega, mega hard for me. And then I started to do Pilates online on YouTube. And the Pilates teacher one day just threw out a yoga class. She put a yoga class on her YouTube channel. And I thought, oh, this is okay. Like, it's slower. It's a little bit easier for my cardio because I was getting so out of breath, right? It was mainly about stretching. But then that's when I realized I couldn't even stretch. Like, when she was saying, if you're a beginner, start here, I couldn't even get into that pose. Like, I could barely sit cross-legged. When I folded forward to touch my toes, I was about here. Real struggle. There's no way I was getting up into wheel pose, like crab, as the kids call it. There was just absolutely no way. But I stuck to it. I decided I need to work on this, because if I am stiff now, again, what's going to happen in my 30s, my 40s, my 50s, my 60s? By the way, I'm 36 now. So that's how I got into yoga. I wasn't very consistent. I was on and off for years. Like most people, it's hard, isn't it? It's really, really hard to stick to a routine. But then I had my daughter, and I realized the other benefits that I was getting from yoga. So my daughter was one of these babies that never slept, mega, mega hard. And when I didn't practice, I noticed a huge shift in my mental energy. I was more negative, I was stroppy, I was stressed. And it wasn't until my husband took Alexis from me, my daughter, and said, go and do some bloody yoga. So I was like, oh, okay. I went and did yoga, and honestly, it was only a 10-minute practice because that's all she would give me. She was breastfeeding constantly. And even just after those 10 minutes, my mind just calmed. My body relaxed. I just felt so much better. And that is what got me hooked. Not just that, actually, but also because I was practicing regularly, then I started noticing my back pain was going. When you have a child who doesn't sleep, you're tossing and turning in bed, you're hunched over breastfeeding, your back starts going, right? And then I noticed that all these shifts were happening in my body, and that was it. I got absolutely hooked. So I did my yoga teacher training, I worked on my flexibility, and it made such a huge difference. I found what actually worked for me and for a normal body. I have never been one of these who was doing cartwheels and handstands and stuff in the playground. I was never fit. Never. My flexibility was just non-existent. When I did my yoga teacher training, I was the least flexible person in the room, and I could barely do any of it. But that didn't stop me. I carried on and on and on because of the mindset stuff. And then I started to work out how to actually gain flexibility for a regular body, somebody who has never been flexible, who is a little bit tighter than most, and who it takes a really long time to gain flexibility. It has taken some hard work until I found the practices that I have found and that I'm going to share with you today. Okay, so leading on a little bit from the mindset stuff, I was a mobile hairdresser, and I definitely saw a lot. I had, clients who were 2. I had clients who was 99. In fact, one of them is 101 now. And I saw a huge range of people in that time, and it definitely opens up your eyes. You see the way that people live, you see the way that people move, you see the way that people can't move. I had 80-year-olds who were sat in a chair who could barely move. Now, yes, fair enough, they can have illnesses and all this stuff can affect them, operations, things like that. But then my client, who was 101, was absolutely amazing. She was moving, she was mobile, she was with it. She never even let me sweep up the hair after I cut her hair because she wanted to be able to do these things. And that is where all this comes in. You have to have the mindset to actually get this done, because if you don't, it's not going to happen. And I'm not saying that that's an easy thing, but there are ways to improve your mindset, okay? So this all happened for me because I stopped half-heartedly practicing. I made sure that I stayed consistent. I was doing it not every day, every other day minimum. I made a plan and I stuck to it. I didn't just stretch. I used the techniques that I'm going to show you today. I reminded myself of why I needed this and who I was doing it for, right? That's my husband and my daughter on the screen there. And that is exactly who I was doing it for, because I didn't want to be a parent who couldn't move, who couldn't play with their child. I mean, yesterday I was sat on the floor for an hour and a half playing Barbies. Before, there's no way I could have done that. So all these things can actually help to even, create better connections with your family as well. So just to give you some facts on this as well, so that you're not just taking my word for this, I have done a lot of research, okay? And in 2015, there was a study done on people with arthritis. And this study examined adults with arthritis and found that a yoga practice significantly reduced their joint stiffness and improved their physical function. Participants reported less pain and improved overall joint mobility. They also said how this would help prevent arthritis if done early in your life. Okay, so that's the physical side of it. The mental side of it, in 1998, a study was done on yoga, flexibility, and mindset. And this study explored the effects of yoga and meditation on mental health. Participants who engaged in mindfulness-based stress reduction techniques, including yoga, showed significant reductions in stress and anxiety levels. They also reported improved mood, increased positive thinking, and greater overall life satisfaction. So can you imagine putting yoga with these mental benefits in with the flexibility side of it? How powerful that can be. Not only are you improving your body, but you're improving your mindset as well, which is improving your positive thinking, which also improves your consistency with this practice. Okay, this is why yoga is so, so powerful. And this is why I get all hyped up about this. So just in case you are still wondering, that's all right for me to say, but is this going to work for you? Here are some testimonials that I've received from my students. The top one, the one in black, is absolutely amazing. I received this just a couple weeks ago from one of my students saying that she's always had hip pain, and for the first time in weeks she woke up and that she hardly had any hip pain and upper thigh pain, and how incredible she feels and how it's amazing to feel the progress. Then we have Louise, who is the bottom left. She has been a member of Lakora membership for, I think, 2 years now. She is doing absolutely incredible. She's fitting this in around her child. She says how nice it is to be able to do it around your children, even having quick 10-minute sessions between screen breaks during workday, and how she has noticed that a regular practice has really improved her body. And then the last one on there is great lessons. Teacher explains each move in detail with helpful hints to aid positions. Caters for everyone from beginners to more advanced. That is one thing that I wanted to share in my practice, because I was so fed up of trying to do these online classes and not being able to do even the beginner version that they were saying. It was really disheartening, because it made me think, well, how can I even start if I can't even do the beginner pose, right? So hopefully you will see that today, depending on whereabouts you are. So my entire life absolutely changed the moment I started working on my flexibility and my health, instead of just letting age catch up with me and thinking it's just the way it's meant to be. And trust me, if I can do it, you can too. I am not a gymnast. I'm not hypermobile. I'm not a contortionist. I don't work in the circus. I am just a regular part-time mum who decided I was done with feeling old and not being able to move as well as I wanted. And even though I may be more flexible than you are now, I still struggle, and it doesn't come easy to me or my body, which is why I understand more than most the struggles for normal people to improve their body. So if you are mega busy and wondering if you have time for this, I get it, okay? I get it. I am too. That's why I've included just 3 poses at the end of this training that you can start doing daily to increase full body flexibility, and it's only going to take you 3 minutes a day. Okay, that is it, 3 minutes a day. So just make sure you hang on until the end. So I have a coach, and one of my coaches says this quote all the time. It's a life coach thing. How you show up in one thing is generally how you show up in everything else. So if you are already thinking, why haven't we started moving yet? Or I still don't think this will work for me. Just notice these thoughts, notice them as they come up, because if they are playing on your mind, when we get to the practice, they are gonna hold you back, because your words are so powerful. What you think is what you believe. If you start saying this stuff to yourself, even if it's in your head, you are going to start believing this stuff. You're going to think, oh, I don't know, she's going on too long. This is going to be rubbish. The class is going to be shorter. I'm not going to get flexibility. Notice what's coming up for you, because if you can let this go, and I'm going to show you exercises that you are going to see a major difference in right away, you can let go of your body and your flexibility will increase even more. Okay, so my method mixes mindset with flexibility so that you can maximize your flexibility, right? Maximize your mobility, your movement in no time by tuning into your body and your thoughts. Okay, so I think we are gonna begin. And just actually, before we do begin, just this one last slide here, right? We are human, okay? We are human. We are really good at making up stories that shouldn't mean anything to us. If you say things like, these are things that I hear all the time, okay, this is why I'm sharing this. I can't do wheel pose. That doesn't mean you're too weak or you're not flexible enough or it's never going to happen for you. If you're saying, I can't touch my toes, maybe you're making up stories about yourself. I'm too fat, I'm too old, it's my dodgy hip. Notice these stories, okay, because none of these are true. Okay, none of these are true. These are things that you're saying to yourself and then your body is thinking it and it's stopping you from reaching to your toes or pushing up into wheel, okay? Sometimes it is just the mind trying to keep you safe because it's new and scary to go upside down or to stretch too far. Your body is always trying to protect you and to stop you injuring yourself, and that is why the mindset is absolutely crucial to this practice, okay? So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a moment and we are going to get on with the practice, okay? So the first step to this practice is knowing your why. Because if you have days where you think, oh, I can't be bothered to jump on the mat. I mean, you know what I said at the end of this is going to be a 3-minute practice. Even people will say, I can't be bothered to do this. It's 3 minutes, right? So you need to know your why. You need to know why you're doing this. So flexibility and mobility are fundamental to your physical health and well-being. It allows for a greater range of motion in the joints, which reduces the risk of injury and improves everyday functional movement. Okay, things like bending down to put your shoes on, bending down to put stuff in the washing machine, strength, lifting up all this dirty washing, lifting up your child, reaching over to turn a light switch on. You know, all of these things is going to be affected by your mobility and your flexibility. So together, these things contribute to better posture, reduced muscle soreness, and improved circulation. Okay, so always remember your why and it will help you to stay motivated. Okay, so let's get into the practice. The first thing I would like you to do is this weird little exercise, okay, but there's a reason for this. I want you to stand. If you can see yourself on the screen, that's amazing. If not, try to stand in front of a mirror or maybe just notice yourself. I want you to put your hands up above your head, feet hips distance, stand nice and straight, hands above your head, reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And just notice, maybe even turn your head up, if they look even, okay? If they look like they're reaching the same amount up. Okay, got that? Release your hands, come down to the ground. What I would like for you to do is place your left leg long. By the way, if you struggle to get on the ground, do this on a seat. You don't have to come down to the ground. What I want you to be able to do is just to reach your right foot. Okay, so reach that right foot. Something really weird now. We're going to get our left hand and we're going to place our fingers in between each toe. Okay, very strange. Place your fingers in between each toe and then wiggle them as close as you can so that the creases of your fingers and the creases of your toes are as close as possible. It is going to feel really weird. You might not be able to get your fingers in there that much, but spread your toes as much as possible, okay? Now, if you are somebody who is constantly wearing shoes, maybe you've got a job where you are literally in your shoes like 8 till 6, you're going to really feel this. Okay, so push your fingers and your toes as close together as you can, and then it's like you're holding hands with your feet, right? So what I'd like you to do here is take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, squeeze your toes and your fingers together. It's going to make it a lot more uncomfortable. Inhale, release it slightly. Keep your fingers in there though. Exhale, scrunch. Inhale, release slightly. Exhale, scrunch. Inhale, release slightly. Exhale, scrunch. Release it slightly. See if you can wiggle them a little bit closer. And the more you do this, the more your toes will end up spreading. Take a big inhale. Exhale, scrunch this time, hold it. Hold that scrunch, but keep breathing, okay? Focus on your breath. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Keep scrunching the toes and the fingers. Now, the reason that we're doing this is because everything is connected, okay? This is part of my technique. The whole body is connected. Now, when we are, say, reaching forward, trying to touch the toes, a lot of the times, yes, it's in the hamstrings, okay? We really feel it in the hamstrings, but it might be other muscles connected to your hamstrings that's also the problem. It could be your calf muscle pulling on your hamstring. It could be your bum muscle pulling on your hamstring. It could be the feet. The feet is pulling on the calf, which is pulling on the hamstring, which is stopping you reaching forward, okay? So it's really, really important that we focus on the different body parts and warm up every single one. Okay, you still scrunching those toes? Keep it scrunching. Now, if you have your ankle over your leg, start to circle the ankle while keeping that tension in the scrunch if you can. Okay, circle your ankle one way. If you haven't got it over your ankle, it's fine. Just keep scrunching your feet. Again, it's kind of like a more advanced version. So if you have got it this far, carry on. And then circle it the other way. Because what else are we also doing here? It's a little bit of hip opening, right? We're externally rotating that leg and you're getting that leg up on your thigh. That's a lot of hip work. Okay, so if your hips aren't there yet, it's fine. We're going to work on it. Okay. Then release those fingers. It's going to feel really weird. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Now look at the difference between your toes and you will probably notice that your right side now is a lot more open, right? Your left toes might be a bit more squished, your right toes are open. Now before we go on to the other side, I want you to stand up, feet hips distance. I'm not sure if this is going to work for you because I do it all the time, but should be working for you. Okay, stand up straight, hands above your head, reach up. In fact, I can already feel that. Look up, notice if your right hand is a little bit higher. For me, I don't know if it looks it, but it definitely feels already completely looser on the right side of my body. And all of that, just like really pay attention to your body here. Notice how it feels on your sides, on your hips, on the tops of your legs, your shoulders even. Now, how incredible is that, right? Just working by stretching the toes has like opened up the entire right side of the body. My right side body feels so much looser now. Okay, so let's do the other side just a little bit even, right? Right leg out long, left foot in. Again, sit up on a chair if you need to. Place your foot on the ground if you need to. Have it further away if you need to. Get those fingers, wiggle them down your toes. Now, what you might find, most possibly, is that one side is easier to do than the other. Okay, so wiggle them in as much as you can. Spread those toes nice and wide. And hold. Sit up straight if you can. Maybe even lean against the wall if you want to. And we're going to take a few of those breaths as well, okay? So take a big inhale. And then exhale, scrunch. Scrunch it all together. Inhale, release slightly. Exhale, scrunch. Release. Scrunch as you exhale. Release. See if you can wiggle the fingers or the toes a little bit closer together. I always like to grab each toe and like give it a wiggle. It helps it just get the fingers a bit closer. And then inhale. Exhale, scrunch, hold that scrunch. Okay, hold it, hold it, hold it. So what can also help this is taking your shoes off as soon as you get in. Wearing better shoes, wide feet shoes are really good. There's also these shoes now, some of them are a little bit pricey, but they're called barefoot, I think. And they basically have a very wide end for your toes so that your toes sit naturally on the ground rather than being squished. So if you imagine, if you're trying to like balance on your hand, you put your hands down, right, to get up. You don't keep your fingers together, do you? Because you have less of a foundation. You put your fingers wide to push yourself up and you grip them out with your fingertips as you try to get up. That's exactly what your toes are trying to do on the floor all the time. So if you're in shoes, it's stopping that from happening, which affects your balance, your flexibility, your posture. It affects so much. It affects the strength in your feet as well. Literally affects everything. Okay, so this is why this exercise, especially if you wear shoes a lot, is majorly important. Okay, release that. Roll your foot one way, ankle one way. And then ankle the other way. Apologies if you can hear my dog. We live next to a farm and they let their dogs roam, which is normally lovely, but obviously now she's in heat, they keep managing to get into the garden, and she can sense when we're in the garden and she just starts like in the garden. We're trying to block it off and they keep finding new ways in. These men are so persistent. Okay, release that. Stand up again, take your time. Hands up, and hopefully now you feel a lot more even. I know I definitely do. Such a powerful little exercise. Okay, so we're going to warm up the body before we get into our flexibility routine, our flexibility exercises. So a really great way to start warming up your body is the sun salutation. If you've done yoga, you know this sequence is a very powerful one because it includes most things that you need for flexibility. So feet hips distance, hips above the feet. Let's inhale, sweep the hands up, above the head. And exhale, fold forward. Take a slight bend of the knees. Fold the upper body down. Inhale, halfway lift, so straighten the legs, straighten the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands. Come back either on your knees if you need to, or step back to plank. Okay, if you can't step back to plank, come onto your knees. Because then we're going to lower the knees anyway. Untuck the toes. Bend the elbows backwards, come all the way down to the belly. Take an inhale, lift the chest off the ground, keep your pelvis on the ground. Exhale, back down. Push back up onto your knees. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look towards the top of your mat. Little steps or a big step, come into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up, come up to standing, hands above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. So that's a classic or a sun salutation A. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time, just keep the body warmed up. Now, if you stepped back with a particular leg first, use the other leg this time. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step it back to plank or to your knees. If you're in plank, lower your knees. Come down to your belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Push back up onto your knees, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Look towards the top of your mat. Big step or middle steps come into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. So notice in our sun salutation there, we've got a lot of forward folds. We've got some back bending in cobra. We've got some strength in our downward facing dog. And we've got a little bit of mobility, getting your legs up and down, right? So that is a really good warm-up. If you only have 1 minute a day, a sun salutation is amazing. If you have 10 minutes, maybe do 10 sun salutations, okay? But now let's get into a bit more of the flexibility side and moving the body. So feet hips distance. I'm going to inhale, sweep the hands above the head. And then as you exhale, I want you to bend the elbows, look up and create a back bend. So drop the elbows then in line with your shoulders. Inhale, hands up, come up to standing, hands above your head. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale up, lengthen the spine. Last time, exhale, back bend. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So a little bit of shoulder and back grip there. Separate the feet a little bit wider than hips distance. I always like to have my heels on the mat and then my toes off the mat. So feet are coming out at an angle. Hands at heart center. I'm going to bend the knees. Come down as low as you can. So the aim here is to come down to your yogi squat. Now, if you're nowhere near here, don't worry, okay? Come down as low as you can. If that's up here, that's up here. As low as you can. Now we're going to release the hands down to the ground. Lengthen through the spine as much as you can. Okay, so even if you're up high, try to imagine that you are lengthening through the spine. Okay, take a big inhale. As you exhale, keep your hands on the ground, lift your hips up as high as you can. So again, maybe the legs go straight, maybe they have a bend in them. Okay, it doesn't matter. Go as high as your hips are going to allow you today. Okay, next inhale, bend the knees as low as possible. Exhale, hips high. Inhale down, open the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale down. Exhale, fold. Inhale down. Exhale, fold. One more. Inhale down. Exhale, fold. Heel, toe, and feet to hips distance. Roll up through the body. Shake it out. Well done. So these are really good dynamic movements, right? Because we're constantly moving. Really good for the body. I'm going to come down now to all fours. Bring the hands out a little bit further than the shoulders. We're going to come down onto our belly, okay? So hover over your wrists, lower all the way down. Okay. You're going to bring your hands into that cactus position again. Tent the fingertips, so it's just your fingertips on the ground. Looking down, we're going to inhale, push up through the fingertips, straighten the arms. Look forward, and then as you exhale, lower back down, bend the elbows. Inhale, come up. Exhale down. So imagine those spinal rolls here, and your neck is an extension of your spine, right? So as you come up, you inhale, you're up and down. As you exhale down, you look forward. Take your breath as slow as possible. Go at your own pace with your own breath. Every time you inhale, you come up. Every time you exhale, you come back. Round down through that pelvis. It's another great one from the back here. Very similar to our standing cactus pose. Next thing you can now, place the hands next to the chest, push back up into all fours. So hips above the knees, shoulders above the wrist, spread your fingers nice and wide. You can take a couple of cat-cows here. Inhale, drop the belly down forward. Exhale, push the mat away, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, feel that in your back. Inhale, shoulder blades come together, belly button drops towards the ground, look forward. Exhale, push the mat away, tuck the tailbone, belly button draws up towards the ceiling. Inhale, drop it down. Exhale, press. Inhale, down. Exhale, press. One more time. Inhale it down. Exhale, press. Come back to neutral. Step your right foot in between your hands. And then we're going to sink the hips nice and low. Feel free to hold on to a wall here. And then make sure that your ankle is underneath your knee. Hands to the ground if you can, or maybe to yoga blocks or to the wall, wherever it feels okay for you. Let's take a big inhale here. Again, imagine opening up that chest. As you exhale, walk yourself backwards, straighten that right leg, toes point up towards the ceiling. This is where, if you're a little bit tighter in the hamstrings, you can keep a bend in that knee. The floor is going to seem really far away. Don't balance, okay? Hold on to something. If you're balancing, you're going to be tensing everything. I want you to be lengthening that right leg. So either fingers to the ground, to blocks, or to a wall. Okay, we're going to take that into a little bit of a movement. Inhale, bend into that right knee, sink those hips low. Exhale, straighten that right leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. As straight as you can anyway. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. Okay, inhale, bend. Bring your right knee back to meet the left and do the same thing on the other side. So left foot steps up. Hands to the ground, to the blocks, to the wall, whatever you can do. Big inhale as we reach the hips down low, open the chest. Exhale, shift the hips backwards, straighten that left leg as much as possible. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. Inhale, bend. Keep that chest open. Exhale, straight. Even when you're in your half splits, with the legs straight. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. One more of these. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. Well done. Bend into that left knee. Left knee comes back to meet the right. Come to seated. Gonna bring the soles of the feet together. Okay, no, it doesn't matter if your knees are way up here. Okay, the closer in your feet are, the more of a challenge this may be. So take your feet out a little bit further if you need to. Okay, but grab hold of your ankles or your feet. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, we're going to fold forward. So use your elbows on your knees here. And we're going to make this into a little bit of a movement by bouncing the upper body, okay? So we're leaning forward, up, forward, up. So every time you go forward, you're forcing your knees a little bit wider. Try and keep lengthening the spine if you can. So the movements that we've just done, that's called dynamic movement, okay? We're constantly moving. We're constantly moving. And what this helps us to do is to warm up the muscles, sometimes to take us a tiny bit further past our edge, which can help to gain flexibility. Now the next thing that we're going to do is some static holds, okay? Now static holds are really good for getting deeper into the tissue, okay? So what I'd like you to do now is find some stillness in this butterfly and hold it. That's it, just hold. Now, when we hold a pose, we're not just stretching the muscles, but we're stretching everything else around the muscles. So we have tendons, ligaments, fascia, even our nerves and everything around it end up getting tight as well. So when we can hold a pose for a while, it just slowly lets everything else go. Now, this is also where it's really good to focus in on your breath, okay? So focus on taking really slow inhales and exhales. Because every time you exhale, that is sending a signal to your brain that you're safe and that you're okay and that you're meant to be doing what you're doing. You're meant to be feeling this stretch. If you imagine if you're scared, you tend to kind of hold your breath, right? So we want to release the breath, release the muscles. How you do one thing is how you do nearly everything, right? So slow down the breath, feel calm, release any tension that you feel. Make sure that you're not tensing your jaw. Release the shoulders. Sometimes the shoulders can get tense in this position. And this is our static stretching. Now, the other thing that I work on a lot is the 3 main areas to focus on in your practice. One of them being hip opening, right? What we're doing now, opening the hips. The second one, which we're going to do now, is you come on up, bring your knees together, bring your feet a little bit wider than hips distance. If you're on a yoga mat, I would say as wide as the yoga mat. So take a big inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, fold forward. Okay, so the second one is forward folding. Now release the knees here and imagine looking towards your feet. Okay, so you're looking straight ahead of you instead of down. Okay, try not to round too much through the back. One of the big things that I struggled with for absolutely years that I do not want you to struggle with is I would hear yoga teachers say, keep lengthening back. So I thought that meant you had to keep your back straight as you folded forward. And I'm trying to keep my back straight, folding forward, thinking, well, I'm not feeling anything. I'm not feeling a stretch because I'm like basically tensing my back, locking those bones together so they can't move. What they actually meant, which just wasn't explained well enough, was whenever you're forward folding, imagine now, and do this with me just so that you can feel the difference, right? So round through the spine, look down, okay? Walk yourself as far as you can get, that's fine. Notice what you feel, right? Now come on up. Imagine you can stick your bum out. Imagine your belly button getting closer to the ground. Look forward. Do you or do you not feel a major difference in that position compared to like rounding down through the spine and even trying to keep your back straight and going forward? Okay, so it's all about lengthening. What they meant is lengthen through your low back. Okay, so to do that, you stick your bum out, you get your belly button down, and then you reach your chest forward rather than down. And for me, that intensifies the backs of these legs so much. So hopefully you are noticing that as well. Okay, so this was the second pose, forward folding, right? So again, we're doing the static stretching, we're releasing a little bit, slowing down that breath, trying to release the muscles. And what can happen here as well is once you've held it for a few breaths, you might not feel the pose much. So then you listen in again, you listen into your intuition, to your mind, to your body, and think, do I need to go a little bit further? Then maybe you can reach a little bit further, okay? Because you've released all the tension that was in the muscles before that. So say you were doing that fast, you wouldn't have had time, right, to release that. But don't get me wrong, because all of these movements have specific reasons why we're doing them. Okay, so the faster movement, you're going a little bit further past your edge every time. This, you're releasing so that you can get to the next stage slowly and slowly release everything. Okay, walk yourself back up. Now the third pose, we're going to come over onto our bellies, is back bending. Okay, so we've got hip opening, forward folding, and back bending. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, spread your hands nice and wide. Ground down through the tops of your feet and through your pelvis, and look up. Or look straight ahead, sorry, not up, straight ahead. Really dig into the mat with your shoulders, your elbows, not your shoulders. And then pull your ears away from your shoulders, so you're not scrunching up the neck. Okay, so this is our back bending pose. So these three movements are absolutely crucial for full body flexibility. So when we're doing our back bending, like we're doing now, we're working the shoulders a little bit here. We're stretching the chest open so that we can round through the spine. You might even also feel this in your quads. And if we want to do things like wheel pose, which is a very deep back bend, we're lengthening the shoulders above our head as well, right? So when we teach back bending in Lakora Live, a membership, we go over quads, chest, and the shoulders. We have the hips, which obviously we're working on opening the hips, the front and the back, and we have forward folding, which then opens up the opposite to the back bending. Okay, we're opening up calves, hamstrings, the back as we fold forward, and that's literally the whole body. So that's why these three movements are absolutely crucial. So one thing you can do here, if you're not feeling much in your back, bring your hands a little bit wider, ground down through your hands and straighten the arms. A little bit deeper, okay? This is seal pose. If you're feeling tightness in your low back, widen your feet or come down a little bit lower. So we're holding this, right? We're taking some slow breaths, releasing whatever we can feel. And slowly lower it down. Place your hands next to your chest. Push up onto your knees. Okay. So we've gone over two major movements that we need to gain flexibility: dynamic stretching and static stretching. The next thing, which you may think, what has that got to do with flexibility, but is very important, is strength. Okay, when we are, say, forward folding, because we're lengthening the hamstring, we're then contracting the quad muscle. If that quad muscle isn't strong enough to contract, it's not going to let you go as far. It's also because your brain isn't going to allow you to go that far because it knows you're not strong enough and it's trying to keep you safe. Okay, so it's really important to work on your strength as well. So we're going to work on our strength now. I want you to come up on your knees, tuck your toes under. Just a few strengthening exercises here, okay? So just notice what comes up for you, because if any of these feel mega, mega hard, you know, it's just strength you need to work on. Arms down by the side, one straight line from your knees all the way to the crown of your head. Take a big inhale. Then I want you to lean back, keep that body nice and straight, and then use your core and your quads to bring yourself back up. Okay, we're going to do that 4 more times. So back and up, back and up, back and up, back and back. Just notice what came up for you then. Shake it out. Well done. Okay, let's come on to our back. Now we're going to be working a little bit on the glute muscle, okay, your bum muscle. So this is if you have hip problems, okay, or even when you're working on back bends, we need strong glutes, because what's happening when we open up the front of the body, the glutes are contracting, right? So ground down for your hips, for your heels, ground down for your shoulder blades. We're going to lift our hips up and squeeze the bum cheeks together. Exhale down. Inhale up. Tense. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now you might have even noticed that in the hamstrings as well there, right? Because again, if we're scrunching if we're opening the front body, the quads and the back bend is scrunching the hamstrings, okay? So it's the opposite. Okay, roll over and come back into your plank pose, but with your knees down, okay? So half plank. We're gonna do some easy push-ups, okay? So I say easy, they're not easy, but easier than being in full push-up. Elbows are going to go backwards and not out to the side, okay? Make sure they go back towards your feet. And the lower halfway, push back up. 4 more, ready? 1, up. 2, up. 3, up. 4, up. Well done. Come back onto your heels. Maybe roll the shoulders out. Because again, when we're trying to get up into wheel pose or any position where we're on our hands, we need a little bit of strength in the shoulders, okay? Let's come over onto our bums. We've got 2 more left, okay? Taking them nice and quick today, right? Because I just want you to notice which one you're feeling, because that's going to help you to know where you personally need to work on. Lean back slightly. Feel that core turn on as you lean back. Maybe you stay here. I'm going to give you some different variations. Maybe you can lift the legs. Maybe you can lift the arms. Maybe you can straighten the legs. Hold. Hold it. Feel that core. Now your core strength is important to everything. Okay, it's how we balance. It's how we strengthen the back. If you end up with back pain, really good to strengthen the core. It's how we hold handstand. When we go upside down, and even in downward facing dog, our core should be turned on. Breathe. And release. Okay, so notice how that felt for you as well. Okay, one more strengthening exercise that is a little bit different, but it's really good for yoga because we're always on our hands. So this one is to work our wrists. Okay, so I want you to bring your hands up in front of you. Spread your fingers nice and wide, and then scrunch them really tight. And then I want you to do that as fast as possible. Okay, flicking your fingers. So we're not flicking the wrists, we're flicking the fingers. So flick, flick, flick. And what might happen, try and go as fast as you can, is you will start feeling this sensation running up your arms. Okay, because actually there isn't many muscles in the wrists and the fingers. Most of these muscles are actually in here, in your lower arm. So when we have weak wrists or wrist pain, we need to work on these muscles, okay? And this is a really great way to do that. And then release the hands. Hopefully you felt that flicking up. Maybe your hands are even a bit tingly now. If not, we'll do it a little bit longer. Okay. Now come to standing and shake the body. Just shake it out, literally, just shake everything. Shake it out. Shake the shoulders, shake the wrists. Maybe jump up and down a little bit. And just notice right now how your body feels. Hopefully it's feeling a little bit looser. We have literally worked through the entire body, only fractionally though, right? We've just done a little bit on each thing, okay? But notice how you feel now. Notice how your mind feels. Maybe take a seat and just notice if your mind, if your body seems a bit calmer, seems a bit softer, maybe even a bit heavier or lighter. Okay, everyone's going to be different. So there's 3 more things that I actually work through to help people gain flexibility, but I'm not going to go over them fully today because I'm aware of your time, okay? But so one of them is fascia. We work deep into the muscles and, everything around the muscles. So we tend to do kind of, it's like self-massage really, but we use acupuncture balls or foam rollers and we get deep into the muscles. And this is really good. If you have tried dynamic stretching, static stretching, strength, and you are still struggling with your flexibility, it could be something going on with the fascia, okay? So working on the fascia can help release things. And I've done this before where I had a dodgy shoulder. I don't know what, I think I just woke up one day and it was just hurting. Anyway, I did my fascia. I had an acupuncture ball on my back, put it against the wall, was rolling up and down the wall with it, and did no stretching, no yoga or anything before this. Then I decided, I feel really loose, I'm going to try a wheel pose. And I just rocked up into wheel pose. Normally, I can't do that first thing in the morning. So after doing just fascia release, that can really help loosen up everything as well. The other thing is like nerve flossing. So if none of you have heard of this before, obviously I said before, we've got everything around the muscles as well. There's nerves in there. So sometimes when we're holding a pose, in fact, you can even try this now with your hands out, like point them up, point them down, point them up, point them down. It's basically holding a pose and moving a little bit in it. You can twist your hands side to side, and that helps to loosen up things as well. And then we have stretch and tighten. So a really great way to kind of work on the strength and protecting your body is, say you are coming into something like, I'm not going to do it fully because you've not warmed up the hips properly, but middle splits, okay, and you're opening your legs nice and wide. You'd stretch them as much as you can, but then you would use your muscles to tense. So you won't be able to see this. You're tensing your legs as if you're trying to squeeze something in between the legs, then releasing and stretching, then tensing, then releasing. And these 5, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movements, isometric stretching, that one's called. These 6 movements are crucial for your flexibility. If you just work on one of these things, it's great. It might help you gain flexibility, but you're not going to be gaining flexibility in a safe way, because say you stick to static stretching, holding the poses for ages, you're going to be losing strength, okay? If you're just working on dynamic stretching, moving constantly, you're not getting the benefits of holding that stretch and really releasing everything else around it. Okay, so that's why these 6 things are crucial. Okay, so I'm going to come back up now and we will get back to the screen share if I can. Let me find you. There you are. Let's see. And we'll get into the next thing. Here we go. Okay, so been over, hopefully you can see my screen now. These 6 steps, okay? Knowing your why, that is step number 1. If you do not know why you are doing this, you are not going to stick to it. Step 2, warming up correctly. Sun salutations. Sun salutations are a really great way to warm up the body. Number 3 is the different ways to gain flexibility. Okay, so that's what we've just been over. Static, dynamic, strength, fascia, nerve flossing, and isometric stretching. Okay, those 6 things are crucial. Then it's the 3 main movements. Okay, so then you want to, I know this is sounding overwhelming, stick with me, I'm going to break this down and make it easier in a minute. These 6 things are then broken into those 3 movements: forward folding, back bending, hip opening. Okay, if you only have time to work out 3 times a week, and this can only be for 10 minutes, right? You don't have to do a full-on 75-minute class. Make sure you're focusing on these 3 things: forward fold, back bend, hips. Okay, that's it. That's all you need. Then we focus on number 5, the breath. Okay, slowing down the breath, because you want that exhale. You want to keep your brain knowing that you are safe and that you are not trying to damage it, right? You're not there freaking out. You need to slow down that breath, because you slow down the mind, you slow down the body. And the step 6 is just tuning into your body. Okay, so that is you paying attention. If something feels off, don't do it. If it feels painful, if it feels like a twinge, if it feels pins and needles, that means that you've gone too far and you need to come out of it slightly. Okay, and this is where we need to tune into our body. If it just feels uncomfortable, maybe you need to push through that. Okay, nobody said that this was going to be easy. You can't go through all of this and not listen to what your body says. You are going to be feeling something. Okay, so that is where your intuition comes into it. Is it pain or is it discomfort? Okay, again, is it your mind trying to keep you safe, or is it your body saying, no, do not do this, it's painful? Okay, so tuning into your body is absolutely crucial. So I'm just going to present this, because I've just realized I've just left it on the main screen. Let's make it bigger. There we go. Okay, so bonus tip and homework time. Who thought you were going to get homework today, eh? Homework is so simple. I want you to notice your body, and I want you to do the opposite of things. So if you sit cross-legged, I want you to put the other leg in front. If you cross your arms a lot, I want you to put the other arm on top, and it's going to feel awkward. It doesn't look as awkward as it feels. Yeah, It's confusing. It's confusing, but it's true. If you have a child and you're constantly holding them on one side, notice what my body looks like right now. I'm scrunching the right side. I am lengthening the left side. Now, because I spent years doing this, when I try to hold my daughter on this side, I can't do it. It feels really weird because this side won't contract and this side won't lengthen. So it feels really awkward. So just notice, try and put your kid on the opposite side. If you're stood at school gates or whatever, notice how you stand. Is one leg straight, one leg bent? Do you always stand the same way? Can you stand the other way? If you sit cross-legged on a chair, cross the other leg on top. Okay, so that's your homework, is to really notice your body and switch to the opposite side, because you are doing your body damage by constantly repeating the same action on one side. So, I am not sure why you turned up today. Maybe it's because you're frustrated that you're feeling older than you should be, that your body is tightening. It could be that you're feeling trapped and like you need to break free. Or maybe you've heard all the buzz and excitement around how others are living their best life after starting yoga and exercise, that you want to see what it could do for you. Or perhaps you just wanted to hang out with me today, and that's fine too. But flexibility is needed now more than ever. And hopefully you have seen that today, how much your body can benefit from just a quick practice like we've done today. It can transform your entire physical and even mental health. And I believe that if you've been on this call up to this point, you have what it takes to really make a difference in your physical health, and you want to continue gaining flexibility. And this is something that you can get started with right now. But please remember, nothing I have shared with you today is theory or fluff that might work. This is exactly what I have done in my journey and helped all my students to do as well. It doesn't matter if you're inflexible, if you're older, if you have no time. It's all about taking small steps and actions right now. Okay, this is exactly the framework that I teach inside my membership, and this is exactly what I'm teaching my students. And those pictures at the start of the forward fold touching the toes, that's all because they have learned from me and this theory, okay? So as we get older, our bodies naturally become stiffer and less mobile, right? Leading to discomfort and a sense of aging too quickly. I think we all feel this. Most people will jump into workouts that are too intense or diets that are too extreme, and they burn out and they get frustrated, and then they lack results because it's too difficult to stay consistent. So how do you ever expect to feel healthier, younger, and more mobile without starting at the foundations like yoga for flexibility? Okay, you've seen what we've done today. It's nice and simple. We take it step by step. We work on the different things rather than throwing you in the deep end into this HIIT program that you have to spend an hour every day to see results in, right? Doing that isn't going to help you to stay consistent. So the obvious question is, how can you apply this into your life, stay on track, and improve your mobility for life? Well, you have a choice. You can do it the slow way through trial and error by testing different things you see on the internet, not really sticking to one until you find something that may work. Or you can start now in Lakora Live and build your flexibility so that your stiffness decreases and you feel younger. This is what I have been doing since I've had my daughter and I've trained to be a yoga teacher. So Lakora Live membership, it's my complete system to helping you gain full body flexibility, not only to reduce and keep away stiffness, but to improve your overall health physically and mentally. When our bodies are looser, there is less pulling on muscles, tendons, ligaments, and this reduces pain, stress, and anxiety. If you imagine now just sitting hunched over, feeling tense, how does that, like, even just doing that now, right? How does it make your mind feel? Not good, right? As soon as you loosen up, you roll your shoulders back, you take a big breath. Your mind just feels so much better. So in Lakora Live, we go over the 3 main movements for the whole body, what we taught today, right? Forward fold, back bend, hip opening. And it is the fastest way to loosen the body and to stay on track. So in Lakora Live membership, you will receive 3 live classes a week, 30 minutes long. These go over forward folds, back bends, hip openings. So this is what I'm saying. When I said we have those 6 kind of movements, you know, the static, dynamic, fascia, all that stuff. But we do this for you. I lay this out for you inside Lakora Live. All you have to do is do 3 classes a week, which focuses on the forward fold, back bend, and hip opening. Okay. So as well as the live classes, we have replays inside the app, because I know what it's like trying to turn up live when you've got a busy life and you've got kids and all this stuff. We have the replays that are uploaded right after the live class. We have a private Facebook group, so you can ask any questions. You can post videos for feedback. Say you're trying to get your wheel pose, jump up into a wheel pose, video yourself, post it in the group, and I will tell you exactly what you need to work on to improve that. Because sometimes it's hard to see or to feel, sorry, in yourself until you see it yourself as well. Like for so long, I was like, why couldn't I get up to handstand? I recorded myself and I noticed that my hips were nowhere above my shoulders. Okay, that is one thing that you definitely need for handstand, which meant I had more weight that I was trying to kick up that wasn't happening. As soon as I watched the video back and saw that, handstand right away after that. So this is why videos and even pictures can help as well. So this is why we have the private Facebook group, to really maximize your flexibility and to help you get to where you want to be. We also have in there a 3-week intensive flexibility course. Okay, so this course is amazing. This is what Becca, the testimonial at the start, this is what she went through, right? In this 3-week intensive flexibility course, we have the forward folds, the back bends, the hips, and in each of these sections, we go over warm-up, strength, fascia release, all of these different things that we need. Okay, so this course alone is £96, but you can get it for free inside the membership. Okay, also, in case you are completely new to yoga and you're thinking, well, I don't have a clue what yoga is, I don't even know where to start, I'm a complete beginner, we have a 21-day beginner yoga course. Again, this course is normally £45. That is also free inside Lakora Live membership, okay? And then we also have different challenges for specific poses. All of these challenges are also £45 and they're free in the membership as well. So we've got a 15-day touch your toes challenge. We've got a 15-day wheel pose challenge. We've got an 8-day crow pose challenge. We've just uploaded a 6-day hip opening challenge if like splits is your goal. So we have all of that in there as well. And these are completely free. So imagine this, waking up in the morning with less pain and stiffness, saving time by moving quicker and easier, being able to do activities because you have more energy and more movement, and you're feeling more positive, healthy, and happy. That is what yoga for flexibility can do for you. And this is exactly what it has done for me. It's allowed me to be the parent I want to be. I can jump out of bed in the morning, go and see my chickens, run around the garden with them, whereas before I wouldn't have been able to do that. So if you're thinking, this sounds like too much of a commitment, that's what I used to think until I started feeling the benefits and how much time I've actually saved by being able to move faster. Now that's, hold on a second, I lost my dog's barking and she's just lost my train of thought. Not just that, okay, but that's why I created Lakora Live in the way that I have, to make it easier for you to see results quicker with just 30-minute classes. Long enough to feel a difference, but not too long to take up your entire morning. Okay, I'm a mum, I'm busy, I know the struggles. I really struggled to stick to a workout or exercise routine before I started implementing this. 30 minutes, 3 times a week, and you will see a huge difference. Most of us are mums to little people or pets, and I know what it's like to work this in around them, okay? So this is why I've created it the way that I have. So now you're probably thinking, that's great, but how much does this cost, right? So you can go to a local yoga class, which is normally £10 to £12 each. Takes up about 2 hours of your time, right? So it's normally a 60 to 75-minute class. You've got the driving time in there. But you and I both know that we don't always have that kind of time in the day. Or the childcare. A personal trainer can cost hundreds plus a lot of your time. So how much is it going to cost you to join in on 3 live classes a week, plus a library of replays, courses, and challenges to help you gain flexibility and reduce stiffness and pain? And all of this together is worth around £476. But this isn't going to cost you hundreds. You can gain access to this right now for free. That is not a joke. I have a 5-day free trial for the membership. So you can come and join for 5 days, have a look around, check out the courses, check out everything, have everything free for 5 days, and then it's only £24 a month. Okay, so instead of spending $476 on my courses and my challenges, you can get them all for free inside the membership for just £24 a month. But that's the wrong screen. I have an offer just for you. If you sign up within the next 48 hours of this webinar, you will also get a customized 4-week training plan to suit your body and time to help you improve faster than ever before. Okay, this will happen after the 5-day trial because I don't have time to make a 4-day plan in the next 5 days. So after the 5-day trial, I will give you a message. We will set up a time to either we can do this on Messenger, on WhatsApp, to discuss your needs and what it is you are looking to get out of this training, out of flexibility, out of your movement, out of your mindset. And I will set up a 4-week personalized plan just for you to stick to. Okay, so I really want to see you get results. I do not want you to be like me, go years trying to figure this all out for yourself, not getting anywhere, and then 10 years later figure it out. Okay, I need you to get what you want right now. I want you to be able to move, to be able to get that freedom in your body and in your mind as well. So I don't want you to hop into the membership and think, where on earth do I start? Okay, I want this all laid out for you, making it easier for you to get results. That's only if you sign up within 48 hours of this webinar. Okay, so let me just check the time now. So it's 11 o'clock on the 13th of August. So 13, 14, 15th of August, 11 a.m. This offer is going to end. Okay, 15th of August, 11 a.m. If you sign up to the membership with a 5-day free trial, no cost, before the 15th, then you get this 4-week personalized plan. Okay, and if you're thinking, that's great, but I still can't afford £24 a month, just know I understand. Okay, and there have been plenty of things I've also said this to as well, but because I was worried, I still couldn't do it. It would take up too much time, or that I wouldn't finish it. And you don't want to be wasting your money, right? You don't want to sign up to this, not do it, and think, well, that was a waste of money. But at the end of the day, it comes down to your health. Because if you saw, my English on this page, what on earth is happening here? Because if you saw no, but then go, oh, that was, yeah. What I was trying to say is you can easily go out, grab a Chinese that costs you more than a month's worth of live yoga classes with challenges and feedback and courses in there. If you think that that is more important than your health, then I think we need to work on your priority. Okay, so make sure you come back to your why. Why did you show up today? Something pulled you here for a reason. You want to work on your flexibility. You want to work on your body, on your mindset. You want to know what this can do for you. Okay, so let's keep our bodies and minds working and keep our nervous systems resting. That is crucial. Once our nervous system rests, which is exactly what happens when we work on our flexibility, we feel more positive. We feel less stressed. We get less angry. We live longer. Our bodies aren't so stressed. So for those of you who are still here, well done, because this is your free bonus moves that you need to be doing daily right now to see improvement. Okay. Number 1 is the forward fold. Okay, you're just reaching forward, trying to touch your toes, slight bend in your knee, as you can see in the picture. Working on your forward folds. Okay, remember we said about these 3 different movements. Second one is your back bends, puppy pose. You're on your all fours, you take your hands out long, you sink your chest down to the ground. You're working on your back bend and your shoulder flexibility. Pose number 3 is a lizard twist. Okay, so we're coming into, I'll just demonstrate this one. We're coming into our lizard lunge. So your hands are on the inside of your leg, toes are pointing out at a slight angle. Lift up your back leg. You can place a towel or a cushion underneath that back knee. Reach behind with your opposite hand, grab that foot and lean forward, okay? We've got hip opening here and we've got quad muscle for that back leg, okay? You will really feel this in the back quad. So these 3 poses, if you do these daily, you are going to see a huge improvement, okay? And literally takes you 3 minutes, right? Hold each of these. Hold the first 2 for a minute, and then hold the third pose, sorry, for 30 seconds each side. Okay, and you will see a huge difference. So I will leave the screen up for a second, take a photo, screenshot, do whatever it is you want to do, screenshot that, and we will get going. Okay, so we are at the end. Gaining flexibility is the most effective way to loosen tight muscles and improve mobility so that you can feel younger, happier, and more positive every day. Hopefully, you have seen that today in this training. Don't forget to head on over to lakorayoga.com, sign up for the membership, grab your 5-day free trial. I will leave a link in the description. For live classes, replays, challenges, courses, feedback, all of this for 5 days for free, and then just £24 a month. And if you sign up within the next 48 hours, you will get that special bonus of a 4-week personalized plan. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording now. I'm going to answer some of your questions. So thank you so much for joining me today. And let's get answering these questions.